Hello, welcome to Scrap Time episode 1001. My name is Christine, and on today's episode, I'm showing you the Spellbinders 3D Christmas trees. Today I am showing you the Spellbinders 3D Christmas tree. You get two Christmas tree dies that will fit into each other, I'll show you. And then you get some ornaments in the star and some little leaves. I'm going to put these dies away because I won't be using them right now. I've already cut them. Put that aside. So after you cut the tree, they end up looking like this. I've cut them out of gold and silver metallic papers, and then I added a little banner because I thought these would be cute on my little food table at the party that we're going to be having. So to label the different foods or goodies that are on the table. And they just stand on their own. My table isn't flat, but they just stand up. So I'm going to show you how to make them. So I have already cut out the one that has the little cut at the top. So now I'm going to cut out the one that has the thing at the bottom. I'm using the Spellbinders Artisan Explorer. I like to use it whenever I cut smaller dies that fit on there. Now the trick to all this fine cutting is to put a piece of wax paper on your die before you put your paper on. And that, you will see, will really help when we are taking it out of the die. So we're going to put the top on. And then run it through. Now with these fine dies, I like to actually run it through twice just to make sure that they are well cut, because I'm using a little thicker paper as well here. So I run it to the end and then I turn back and run it back the other way. There's so many intricate cuts in here. It's just, I find that if I run it through twice, I know it'll cut really well. So the next thing I like to do is take the tool-in-one from Spellbinders and try and get off some of those excess pieces. It's easier to do it when it's still in the metal. Okay, and then now our die will just pop out. So because I had that the wax paper there, it just popped right out of this. If you don't put the wax paper there, you may have some difficulties trying to get all the little pieces out without ripping. So the wax paper is the trick to using any of these really fine detailed dies. Now I just had a couple excess pieces that I can pop out. And then I find just this little part here, I just give it a bit of a cut up the side and around there. And there we have our second tree. So these trees just sort of fit like this into one another. And I find it best if I put a little bit of glue on the base to hold the die sort of in place. So what I do is I use my Scotch Quick Dry and I put a little bit of glue on both sides of that little bottom. Oh, my glue has dried a little. I just need a pin for my glue. So I put a little bead of glue there, and a little bead on the other side. So then I place it down and sort of with my fingers hold it in place, so it like this. And then I find I just have to hold it here just a little bit while it dries, and this will just give our tree that bit of stability to stand up. So my tree is now together. I added a little dab of glue at the top too, just to hold that in place. So now we're going to make the little banner. So I took a piece of 1/2 inch black paper. It was actually the back of a journal card for, you know, for your scrapbooks and that sort of stuff. And I'm going to cut the edge. And so what I do is I cut up and then I cut into that point. I cut up. I'll show you again on the other side. I cut a straight line up, and then I cut from the corner to the top of where I cut, and I do the same thing here. So we have our banner. Now I'm going to take my white paint pen and just do the little, oops, that was a little too much paint. Just do the little dashes around it. If you don't have a white paint pen, you might have like different white pens with pigment ink in that. They all work. I just want to dab off some of this excess paint here. I'm just using the tip of my marker. And then I'm going to fold my banner. I just sort of do a little zigzag fold like that. And then that way I know how much space I have to write. So I'm going to unfold it for a minute, and I think we're going to have some guacamole. And then to attach it to the tree, I take a glue dot and I put one there, and one at the other side. Fold it back over, make sure it's the right way up. Then I just sort of attach it onto the tree. Sort of like that. And there we have another little tree to go onto my food table. But this would be great too if you were hosting Christmas or Thanksgiving dinner and you have little name tags. You could put right the person's name there. Or you can use these trees as decorations on your mantles and wherever you have in your windowsills, wherever you have little areas with decorations, these trees would look great. And that's the Spellbinders 3D Christmas tree. Well, that's it for today's episode. Be sure to check out our website at www.scraptime.ca. And on our next episode, I'm showing you the Hazel and Ruby Pass the Tissue. So please join us. Thanks for watching Scrap Time.